Hello, BookTube. I am part of a BookTube event called GarbAugust's, a much heralded BookTube event, part of the heralding of GarbAugust that you might have sensed in July. Would have been the smell wafting from downwind. This is an event devoted to trash. It's it's a month-long celebration of reading garbage. Of all kinds, of all kinds. And there are prompts. I have been very bad. I'm one of the co-hosts, and yet I've been very bad at following the prompts. I've just been reading wherever my garbage nose takes me. And I've been having a blast. I've been reading a ton of garbage in August. Garbage is often really great as a palate cleanser. Not to sound too poncy or pinky in the air about it, but if I'm reading a book on, military insurgencies in the Ostrogoth Empire, and it's got 200 pages of close-packed footnotes, I work my way through all the way to the end, I'm going to want a palate cleanser. Now, that sometimes is a Star Trek novel, or a Jeeves and Wooster novel, or a romance novel, an old Regency, but in August, a lot of the times that's been garbage. And when we're talking about GarbAugust, when we're talking about reading trash, we're talking about broken hearts. Aren't we, BookTube? Aren't we on some level talking about broken hearts? Because don't we all love trash? Some kind of trash? Maybe not all of us, but don't most of us love some kind of trash? Doesn't some kind of trash have a space in our heart where we just uncritically love it? We know that it's trash, but we don't want anybody to call it that. We don't want to admit it because that feels so disloyal. And that would break your heart just a little to have to talk about one of your babies as trash. Now, I don't feel that way myself. I relish the fact that a lot of the books that I love are trash. I will talk to you until the cows come home about Steve Alten's novel Meg, and I won't feel a bit of shame. But some people get very protective about their trash, and maybe there's trash out there that I do get protective about, but that protectiveness can prompt people to ill-advisedly maintain that the trash deep in their heart isn't really trash. That isn't true. That isn't true. The fact that you love it is fine. That is all the defense that you need, but that does not transmit into literary quality. Literary quality is observable. It is objective. It's not all subjective. Your intensity of loving something doesn't suddenly elevate it any higher than it was to start with. Okay? But nevertheless, some people get touchy about their trash. And the book that I want to talk about today, just briefly, is an occasion of that. Because the person who sent me the ebook was very touchy about this trash. I know. I should hasten to add, we're still friends. No intractable words were said. But the trash is by Lee Falk, and it is The Phantom, the Ghost Who Walks. This is the first Lee Falk Phantom novel. It's a collection of stories. And this is about the eponymous character. Kit Walker is the Phantom. And he rides around on a horse in the jungle in a head-to-foot, skin-tight, purple outfit with striped shorts. So he probably smells. He probably smells really bad. Unless... and one particular Ghost Who Walks fan, the one who sent me this book, would say, "Oh, he smells great," because he's the Ghost Who Walks. Phantom has a dog. I was told that surely that gets him some points in Steve's book. And he also has a neat Lee Falk gimmick. Lee Falk was a very gimmick-oriented author, very much so. Nothing wrong with that. But he was very much gimmick-oriented. And one of the great gimmicks that he has here is that ring there, the skull on it. When the Phantom punches you, he leaves a mark. He leaves a skull indentation on you so that you are marked as having been punched by the Phantom. And he is romantically attached to a gal reporter. And any of you out there who are going to say, wait a minute, doesn't the Shadow have a ring that leaves a mark when he punches you? Best not to mention that around Phantom fans. Let's just keep everything as amicable as we can about the Ghost Who Walks. The neat gimmick here. The purple outfit is not a neat gimmick, and other characters have dogs and horses, and a ring that leaves a mark. Well, let's just say other pulp writers did that as well. The neat gimmick here is that the Phantom is a job rather than a person. The Phantom is not a secret identity. It's a position. Kit Walker, young Kit Walker, who is the Phantom in this novel, this is a novel of stories, and he is told many, many stories by the previous Phantom, the current title holder, before the mantle passes on to Kit Walker, tells him all sorts of stories, not only about his own heroic life, but about all the Phantoms going back generations. Because a Walker is always a Phantom. And when one dies, another one takes over. As far as I know, there are never two at a time. So it's a kind of a tragic story. But they train up in their skull cave. Their headquarters looks like a skull. So not really all that inconspicuous. So the bad guys don't need to wonder where the Phantom hangs out, where he hangs up his purple jumpsuit. So I don't know what he has to talk about with his girl reporter friend. Maybe they swap fashion hints. You don't understand. He's the ghost who walks. Okay, fine. That is a neat gimmick. The fact that no Phantom is ever the Phantom. That this is a mantle that gets passed on from one adventurer to another. Hopefully, with the chance for the person, the previous holder, to inculcate the newcomer in the stories of the Phantom, in the stories of the past. That is neat. There's a lot that a talented writer could do with a gimmick like that. Lee Falk was very much not a talented writer and never thought to do much more than what was right to hand. He had 18,000 words to write before happy hour on Wednesday. He never failed to do that. And boy, oh boy, it shows. So this is a breakneck pace book. Immensely readable. Just as everything else this author wrote. Immensely readable. The Phantom novels are immensely readable. They're junk. Pure junk. They are pure trash. They fit perfectly in GarbAugust's. No matter that they have a few loyal adherents out there. There was a movie. The person who sent me this ebook reminded me that Billy Zane was in a movie of the Phantom. Somebody actually tried to put this on modern color celluloid. And he is in that movie, if I remember correctly, he's haunted by the ghost of the previous Phantom. And it's kind of effective. I think I saw that movie in the theater, thinking, what on earth can anybody do with the Phantom in the 20th century? What could anybody do with that? I think it was fairly effective. This was, if I remember correctly, the Phantom movie was made right around the time when Billy Zane's own hair was participating, let's say, at least a bit in conjunction with his hair pieces. I think this was around that, this was at the end of that time when he could still do part of that job himself. So he has, if I remember correctly, a big doo-wop that would make the skin-tight purple cowl of the Phantom look really weird. It'd be lumpy all over. But he had definitely hit the Soliflex for this movie, which Billy Zane does not like to do as an actor. So, and I'm not knocking Billy Zane, of course. How could I? Diehard Titanic fan that I am. I'm not going to knock Billy Zane. But the movie didn't spawn a franchise, let's just put it that way. And that's because, and here's hoping that any Ghost Who Walks fans are out of the room, this is a dumb idea. I mean, the central conceit of this being a profession rather than a secret identity is pretty good, but there's only so much you can do with an adventurer in the jungle who's not Tarzan. There's only so much you can do with this, and not much is done with it. I don't know. This is a common problem for me with GarbAugust's. I don't know the current status of the Phantom. I don't know who owns this property, if anybody does. I don't know what would happen to me today if I decided to write a Phantom novel, other than the fact that I would be wasting my time and probably losing my sanity. If I wanted to write a Phantom novel, could I submit it to a publisher? Could they publish it? I don't think there's been a Phantom novel in... I'm pretty sure that the novelization of the Phantom movie was the last time this character appeared in a book. So where did this go? Who owns this? Who owns the Phantom? Who could make a new Phantom novel? There were a dozen of these things or more. And a comic book line that went on and had some beautiful painted covers. The interior artwork of the Phantom comic was almost always terrible. For a little while, the comic book got Don Newton. The late, great Don Newton died very unexpectedly right at the beginning of what would have been a stellar mainstream career. For a little while, he did some Phantom comics, but most of them are just terrible. They're Larry Lieber level art, but with beautiful painted covers. A lot of them have, if you Google painted covers for the old Gold Key Phantom, you'll see a lot of really good ones. This character can be pretty effective. Purple jumpsuit notwithstanding. Striped shorts notwithstanding. Anyway, this is my entry for GarbAugust. I read the story of the Phantom, the ghost who walks. And I enjoy it. This was a perfect illustration of what GarbAugust is for me. I enjoyed the hell out of reading this book, knowing the whole time that it's got no redeeming qualities anymore at all, except for its narrative energy. That's it. Other than that, no. Other than that, this is just trash. It belongs perfectly in GarbAugust. And I'm actually tempted. The true believer who sent me this sent me a bunch of Phantom novels. I'm actually tempted to read another one. I might do that. But I won't talk about another Phantom novel in GarbAugust, I don't think. Well, we have a lot more garbage to cover. I just wanted to do this because I thought it was so funny. I chuckled for a while because the person who sent me this ebook didn't just send me the ebook. He then stewed about it for a while and sent me this sort of a Phantom manifesto. Sort of a Unabomber manifesto about all the things that make this character great. And I was chuckling for a long time about that, so I had to do a Phantom episode on GarbAugust. And I'm glad I did. I don't think I've ever read this before. I think I learned most of what I know about the Phantom from the comic books. I read those Gold Key comic book issues, lots and lots of them. I used to have a huge stack of them. But I don't know that I've ever read a Phantom book. So I'm glad I did. I might read another. But anyway, that's my report for GarbAugust. So I haven't even checked to see what the prompts are. I'm sure that I'm just all over the map. And I think, with the indulgence of my co-host, I think I'll just stay that way. I think I just want to read whatever garbage comes to hand. So we'll see what happens next. Maybe back to a print paperback. Although that feels a little unfair because there's so much ebook trash. So much. Oh my God. 10 times more ebook trash than has ever appeared in print, because you can roll out of bed and write a trash novel that's an ebook and have it printed, have it available on Amazon with its own ISBN that afternoon. You don't need to find a publisher, even one down by the docks who's drunk on cheap bathtub gin by 10 in the morning. You don't even have to find that. You can just do it yourself. And that has opened the floodgates. But every once in a while, you want to experience your trash in a molding paperback. We'll see. You'll be the first to know. You'll suffer through it as soon as I make my choice. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, and I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.